Welcome back to another video that I didn't plan to be an individual video, but I've decided that it deserves its own video. Can I say video a few more times? Anyway, this time I tackle changing the sump gasket, or could be the sump, on my Chevelle with the engine in situ. So hopefully some of you guys might find this helpful. Yeah, so watch along. Luckily I have managed to get a few goodies, so we can do a little bit more work. One of which is a new sump gasket for the engine, that is. Everyone sort of recommended the Fel Pro one-piece gasket, so that's what I've got, which looks rather lovely, as we can see here. But everywhere I've sort of read online with these Chevelles, people reckon it's doable, but a pain to do the sump with the engine in the car, but we'll give it a go. I mean, I've done a Camaro one before with it in the car, so it can't be that difficult, can it? So yeah, we'll see. I'll probably be regretting that in a minute. Yeah, let's drain the oil out and we'll see how we get on. And I'll let you know when it goes wrong. I don't know if you can see, but I've got the... it's a bit dark, hang on. Yeah, so the sump is loose, and I've got the crank rotated so the web of the crank is actually up in the block to try and give a bit more clearance, but there's just nowhere for it to drop down at the moment. Nowhere with the cross member there and hitting the flex plate at the back, so no option but to try and unbolt the engine mounts and then jack the engine up. Probably on the crank, on the dampener. Not ideal, but I've got no other way of jacking it up really. So yeah, let's give that a go. Success! We've made it. So yeah, it's out. There it is. But yeah, had to have the engine pretty jacked up. You can see my ghetto setup since I've got the car jacked up so high. And you can see, well, hopefully you can see, let's grab a light. You can see how far the engine mounts are from their pedestals. So yeah, pretty far to get it out. Yeah, let me show you roughly how we did it. Let me get the... Yeah, so with it jacked up that high, managed to this is where I can't get it back in. There we go, like that. So not too bad. Basically, to do that, the only things I've really done is took dizzy cap off so it wouldn't hit the bulkhead or firewall, and that's it. Undid the bolts and jacked her up, made sure nothing was hitting. So all good. Going to clean all the gasket material off. Might even paint the sump, feeling a bit fruity. But also on a really positive note, it's a 4-bolt mains engine, small block Chevy. I just kind of assumed it wouldn't be. So that's good news, stronger than I thought it would be. So I reckon someone has clearly been here before trying to solve this problem. They've just smothered it in silicone on the old cork gasket and done it up as tight as possible, which is the exact reason why this has then failed. I mean, whether they have or the person before has, but where it's been tightened up too tight, every bolt hole is now like a high point. So the gasket is never going to seal with that, even with the amount of silicone that they put on it. So yeah, before I stick it back on, I'm going to try and straighten that all out. I mean, I bent it a little bit trying to get it off because it had been siliconed on so much. But yeah, we'll straighten that all out. And then we'll clean the block up, and I think we're going to paint this, make it a little bit nicer, and we'll stick her back on. Yeah, give her a fresh coat of Chevy Orange. Just to blend it in with the block, although most of that paint's coming off. But yeah, so just going to give it a final clean up and then we'll start putting it on. The instructions say not to use any chemical gaskets, but like an RTV, but I'm going to in certain areas because I still don't trust anything like this and I don't want it to leak. So yeah, I'll show you what I do there, but yeah, I'm gonna give it another quick clean up. We'll get it all in there. So on the actual gasket, I've put a very thin sort of smear on there, and I'm only going to do it on the gasket to block side. So then if I ever need to take this off, the gasket hopefully then stays on the block, doesn't stick to the sump. Maybe I should do it on the other side because that's not dead straight. I've got it the best I can, but who knows. And then the other bits that I've done are just in the corners and this stuff. I've used the Permatech gasket maker. It's like there, back corner, and the same other side. You can see that. Just there's quite a big gap there actually, and I was a bit worried the gasket definitely wouldn't seal it, but yeah, that's it. So we'll get this bit jacked back up. We'll slip the gasket in and put the sump back on. So I've got it sat in there. All the bolts have just started. None of them nipped. I nipped the corner ones all up first, just to sort of settle the gasket into place, and then dropped them back down so I could get the rest of the bolts in. Yeah, I mean, it's got way more of a chance than the cork gasket setup that was on there. It's loads thicker. Actually fits nice and it's one piece, so I think we should hopefully be on to a bit of a winner. And yeah, look at that Chevy orange paint. Yeah, so I'm just going to bolt it all back together and then we'll put the engine mounts back on and we're done. So yeah, not really that much of a pain like people were saying to do it in the car. So yeah, I mean, way easier than pulling the engine out. So yeah, you can see that gasket is much thicker than the original. It's all one piece. I think we've got a pretty good chance that that's going to seal up the old thing. Yeah, real simple job, to be honest. You know, well, you always do a bit of research before you do a job, and everyone was whinging about how much of a pain in the arse it is to, you know, get it out of the car, the engine in the car. But to be honest, easy. Unbolt the engine mounts, I popped the dizzy cap off, jacked it up as hard as I could get it, and it popped in and out. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't take the engine out, just change sump gasket on it. So hopefully if you're looking to do this job and this gives you the encouragement to do it the way I've done it, because yeah, sod taking the engine out, just do that. And yeah, hope you liked it, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and I'll catch you in another one.